Oh yeah, welcome back. Okay, midweek, going to do something a little bit different, something that may help a very great many of you. If you have a Harley Davidson that is not a Softail, so in other words, if you have a Sportster, a Dyna, or if you have a touring bike model, then you will have a regular style swinging arm with regular style shock absorbers. And that means that the rear wheel alignment is a very specific process on those bikes. There is a small hole in the swinging arm and you align that both sides with the axle. It's extremely simple. However, you do need a special tool. This is the special tool. Now one of these, I'll show you it, is what you need. It's just a piece of wire with a conical bolt on it. And that's the tool you require to change or to align the rear wheel correctly with the direction of travel on a Dyna, a Sportster or a Tourer. One of those will cost you about £20 from Harley Davidson. There are some other suppliers that sell them for about £15. I made this for about 15 pence. And I'm going to show you how to make one now for yourself using no special tools, just some common sense. And then you'll be able to align the rear wheel on your Harley Davidson in a jiffy and absolutely accurately every single time for a few pence. I'll show you do it. Right, that's the tool. That's how to make it. Now, I'll show you how to use it. Okay, every single Harley Davidson Sportster, Dyna and Tourer has this method of wheel alignment, exactly the same. The company drills a hole right here in the swinging arm. It's a measurement hole, 4mm in diameter, and it's exactly the same distance from the swing arm pivot, both sides of the bike. So that is a safe and accurate measurement point from where to measure your axle. Now you know what you do when you've got your Japanese motorcycle with the little etch marks down underneath the little chisel marks. You measure that it is set on exactly the same chisel mark both sides. So you know how to align a wheel, don't you? You just make sure it is set to the correct distance back both sides, but there are no chisel marks. So we just need to use this tool that we've made today to measure from that hole to that hole, exactly the same both sides. And this is extremely simple. First of all, you need to go to the center of the axle. There's a problem with these. You can't measure to this lip here because it's a different diameter both sides for some reason. You can't measure to here, to the nut or anything. You have to measure right down the center of the axle. And the only way you can do that is by using a cone. The best way to measure or to find the center of a circle or the center of a tube is to put a cone in it. And that is what we've done here. I've chamfered that out 2/3 of the way, and then that pops into the hole and it sits absolutely square. So that won't move. It doesn't move sideways. That's absolutely, it's not a tight fit, but it is a zero play fit, if there is such a thing. And now what we have to do is pass the piece of wire through that. The 90 degree, very important that it's exactly 90 degrees, goes into the hole on the swinging arm. And then you put the cone back into the axle, nice and solid. Make sure that this line along here is at 90 degrees to the axle, to the axle plate itself, and then lock it off. When you lock that off, you trap the wire, and then that is my measurement, and it's locked off so it won't go anywhere. I pop that in, and that goes in there, and that's set. Now all I have to do is go the other side of the bike and make sure that that fits into the axle exactly the same the other side, and then I'll know it's correctly aligned. Shall we have a look, Ben?
Let's try.
Let's have a go. There's our little hole. Feed that into the end, and then the cone goes straight in. Now, as you can see, this side of the bike, the diameter of that hole is less than it is the other side. The other side, this whole thing fits in, but on this side it doesn't. It only goes in up to there. But that doesn't matter, because being a cone, it is still dead in the center. And that little piece of wire fits exactly into the hole in the swinging arm. So I know that the wheel on this Dyna is absolutely perfectly aligned. Quick check the other side. Right, there's just one point that's important, is this angle business. It's very, very important that when you put the cone in the end of the axle, either side, that the wire along here is absolutely parallel to this axle plate. Because obviously, if it's like that, that's a bad measurement. Or if it's like that, you're going to get a bad measurement. It's important, very, very important, when you lock it up, that axle plate and that wire, when you look down in, is absolutely parallel, both sides, completely parallel, no cast that way or that way whatsoever, and then you'll get an accurate measurement both sides. Right, that took me, in reality, probably about half an hour to make my one, because I was experimenting with getting that bolt right and I wanted to polish the head and so on. But you could knock one of them up in 10 minutes. It is extremely simple. I'll show you the parts I use for it. Hang on. One of them and two of them. Simple as that. That's an Allen bolt or an Allen screw with a big barrel head, the straightforward cylindrical head, and they're two metric 10mm nuts. Now I chose to grind that nut down because I wanted to get this piece of wire closer to clear the exhaust, but you don't have to do that at all. In fact, you don't have to have a nut on the inside. If you drill a little bit closer to the head, you can put that straight through behind the head itself. But what is important, the only thing that is extremely important, I'll just slip that off the end, is this cylinder. When you chamfer that cylinder in your drill with your grinder, only chamfer 2/3 of it, because it's important to leave this final third in its original diameter so that it slots into the axle tube itself on the belt side. That diameter there is exactly the size of the axle on the belt side of the bike. This side of the bike, the diameter is smaller, which is why we use the cone to still find the center. So when you grind that into a chamfer, 2/3 only, leave the other third for location. All right, Aynard, is it? Right, go on then, go and make one, save yourself some dosh. Take it easy, ride safe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.